What's up, yo? So today, I'm doing a high school testimony because it's been in my heart to do this since the school year, mid-senior year. And because, you never know who might need the word, what God has done for me during my high school run, my 4-year run. And because, it's, I had nothing to lose, but there's so much for someone else to gain. So we're going to do that. And so how this gonna work is I wrote all my thoughts down in a note, notes on Apple. So I'm gonna be reading my bullet points from there, and then if I feel like I have something to add on, I'm gonna add on. So yeah, if I'm not looking at the camera, it's because I'm reading it. So after I finish I'm gonna start freshman year, sophomore year, junior year, and then senior year. And then so yeah, it's a lot of bullet points. It's a lot. So I hope y'all ready. All right, so start off on freshman year was it wasn't nothing much, but it was a start. To reflect on it now, it was the start of my isolation season, which is when you're by yourself, just you and God. So I was separated from people I grew up with since elementary and middle school. I went to a whole new high school, only 3 people I knew going into it. So, and I didn't really even talk to them either because we didn't have any same classes, but we had the same bus for some of them. So, we didn't even go on the bus because I was COVID. So, yeah, that was just terrible. But it was my isolation season because think on it now, if I didn't he separated me from people. I knew for a long time because if I wasn't separated from them, bro, I don't know where I'll be, because they were big personalities. They had a lot of things going on, inspiring people. Honestly, they're inspiring people. So, but I never knew what I had for myself or what I had myself. So during this time, I also didn't really have a relationship with God. I knew who he was, but I didn't pray to him, talk to him. Sometimes I prayed to him, sometimes I didn't. Not as much as I did now, but now I do. So yeah, nothing much really happened that year. It was COVID, so you know how online learning was. It was terrible. But yeah, all right. So sophomore year was kind of the same. Didn't have a relationship with Christ until 3rd quarter of the school year, which is when I started spending more time in the Word and talking to him about literally anything and everything. Now what made me want to spend more time with him all of a sudden, I think, to be honest, from what I remember, was God just reached me on my phone from the end of scrolling on Reels, because Reels just was on there at the time, I think, or something, and Instagram Reels, and I can't remember what the video was about exactly, but all I do know is that it just put an urge in me to open the Bible. My dad told me I had download months ago, which is very true. And it's good. You all need the Bible app on your phone. Then from there, I started reading the Bible more, which is where the wanting to change came naturally. Which really, God will really reach you when he needs to grab your attention. That's so real, y'all, bro. He really will. You just gotta pay attention and be willing. In anything you are doing or watching, and just one of the many examples, not gonna hold you on that, and most importantly, he will meet you where you are. It don't matter if you're if you feel like you're right here, you're probably right here, and if you're right here, he'll meet you here. He'll do it. So don't worry about being high or perfect to go to him. You don't need to do that at all. Then from there, it was trials and tribulations along with just overall growth, and he will be there with you every step. So that's the start of it during this sophomore year. So yeah, from there, my desires and wants were slowly changing, very slow, because some things that I was doing got dropped and new good habits were taking its place. Me wanting to work out more, yeah, and doing just doing some home workouts as a start. I used to like be, I used to be pretty big, bro, but I'm not that big no more. Well, in size, I still like to eat still. Food tastes good, bro. So yeah, now I'm fit and like to eat good food. And something for the youngs, or people my age, bro. Please, drop the X-rated stuff. If you be watching it, watching at all, because from this journey, like I learned that, and right now witnessing for real, is that lust is corrupting our generation, and it's really messing people up. It really is, bro. Like, primarily it clouds judgment. It could make you lack self-control, and secondly, you don't love people for the right reasons, or for more than just their body. Personally, I think it's really making the young men of our generation weak, which it is, because some of them can't even hold a conversation with the opposite gender without making it weird, which is very sad, y'all. So for my young bucks, please do better. Please try to do better. Go to God. He'll help you. He gives you game on it too. He said run from less. What was that? Oh, and if you're like doing the do every day, you're gonna be tired, bro. So if you're doing the do every day, you're gonna be tired. How you gonna be going to school, working out 100%? You can't even do it 100% because it makes you tired. So, and your body's not gonna be at full strength, and your energy's just gonna be low, and you're just gonna be feeling off, like you won't even be your max capacity. So, stop doing the do at least too often or something. I said just stop. You don't need to do it at all. So yeah, please drop it. If you find it hard, I strongly advise you to ask the Lord for help, like I said earlier, because He is the only one who is there with you at any time. At any time, any place, anywhere. Like, anytime, bro. A verse you can think of to remind yourself is Matthew 5:30. Verse 5:30. And it goes like this: and if your hand, even your stronger hand causes you to sin, cut it off and throw it away. It is better for you to lose one part of your body than for your whole body to be thrown into hell. It's not literally implying you cut off your limb, bro, like your hand or anything like that, or your eye, but instead, figuratively speaking, it's talking about cut off whatever the source is that's making you be lustful. So cut it off, stop it, like this. Now to get back on track, this year and this year I was also sitting at lunch by myself because I didn't know anybody, or at least the people I did know, we didn't have the same lunch. It was crazy. That's how I knew it was God. That was doing it, bro. Because my one good friend that I did know for the whole the whole high school run, we didn't have the same lunch, which was crazy, but it's okay. So I just chilled by myself, and yeah, I think he did that on purpose too, so I could be comfortable being by myself, which I am. I can always be by myself. People say I be by myself anyway. So yeah, that's sophomore year. So junior year has a lot, bro. It has a lot, but I'm gonna try to get it through. So, all right, now junior year was that year, my relationship with God grew tremendously. This year because grew tremendously this year because this was the year of trials and tribulations, as well as would put in the things I was reading in the Bible into practice and applying it to my life, and not just reading it and going about my day doing the polar opposite, which is true. You gotta actually do the work. Faith without works is dead. to start off, there was a lot of things that happened this year that God used to grow me. One of those things being weight training class, which it really did. So weight training is a class my school has, and I didn't even know we had it until around the end of sophomore year, when one of my friends talked about it on the bus. And so when it came time to choose junior year classes, the thought popped in my head, and so I put that class in place of Spanish, because I've been doing Spanish for like 7 years, not more than 7, like since kindergarten. So that's like around 10 years-ish, 9-ish. Anyway, the Lord really used the weight training, the weight room environment, and working out to build me mentally and physically a lot, because I didn't have much perseverance when it came to executing goals and objectives. So anytime something got way too hard, all that inspiration I had for it kind of just died off. Like that's how I used to be. Like it used to just die off, or I felt discouraged, and I took steps away from it and never tried it again, or never gave my full effort, thinking I was just gonna fail again. But weight training was different. Even if I failed, it taught me to still put work and effort into that thing day by day, and eventually you'll see where all that work was being put into, which is true. But of course, working out hurts, and you will be sore. So it also built mental toughness to still try our best, even when you feel like you're at 30% or 20% of your normal self. And now currently, I have learned that Galatians 6:7, which is, don't be misled. You cannot mock the justice of God. You will always harvest what you plant, is what was being applied in this stage of my life. And note that I never read this verse before at that time, I think, but I have heard the saying, you reap what you sow, or you get what you give, before. So yeah, that's true. Always keep putting your work in. I bet you see things turn out pretty good. Now, if God really doesn't want you to do it, then you won't succeed at it at all. Not that being the bad thing. It's just like maybe you have something, you're good at something else that He wants you to do, or you're getting distracted by that thing. So yeah, now with the steps of going into the weight training, Now with the steps of going into weight training and training the best I could what? Now with the steps of going into weight training and training the best I could with the other classmates I had in there, I found out I was pretty good at it and strong, because I never lifted weights at all, Well, I had 10s, but that's it. Heavy weights at all until this year, and always did body weight workouts at home here and there, which was sophomore year. Like I talked about, I lost my placing. Okay, which led to me honestly having interest in going in track and field for the outdoor season. I don't even know why did track pique my interest. I really don't know either. I can't even remember till now. I just think I heard shot put. No, I never heard of shot put until I definitely didn't hear about shot put till that year, or that even existed. I thought track was just running like Usain Bolt. That's it. They need more coverage for field events, bro. I'm not even gonna lie to you. But that was definitely God leading me into it. But I think one of my friends were talking about track, and he said he was a Thor, and then my other friend said, I don't even think she said she ran track either. Yeah, I think one of my friends were talking about doing track, so I think that's what probably popped in my head as well. So yeah, so time came to try out for it, and to be honest, I was pretty anxious. Yeah, first day I was so anxious, I felt it. I still remember it. I wanted to leave because I never did a sport at all, other than one time I tried out for wrestling in middle school, but I never went back after that first week. Like, I was sore. But I didn't know about that hard work. Like, I didn't know I was going to be sore like that. And I just got to keep pushing through. Didn't have anyone to tell me to keep going. So, but it's okay. We learned. We're here now. Okay. But what kept me cool that day, despite my nervousness, was this mental reminder that, okay, God, this is something you led me to, so I trust you. Always trust into what he leads you to. Definitely. You might be nervous, scared, but that's where courage kicks in. Courage is about being valiant or anything like that. You could be scared, but still do it. That's what courage is. Being scared while doing it, though. Being scared and still doing it. There we go. I just kept repeating this in my head to fight out doubt and fear. And then when trials started, everything was fine for the most part. I had to do a lot of running, though. A lot of running. Which I wasn't not used to. I don't know how much I weighed that time. I think I was like 225, 226 that time. So running was, I was slow. Pretty slow. So yeah, eventually, eventually I got through the tryouts and made the team by putting effort, even though I was pretty slow at the time. They were looking for effort. I gave them my effort. I don't do no halfway stuff. Or at least I wasn't trying to do halfway no more. I'm gonna go all in. I also wasn't the best thrower at that time either. Now you doing this? Oh my gosh. Because we didn't really have a throwing coach. Or a coach who specialized in throwing. He knew how to throw, but he didn't like know all the techniques and all that. Or at least I don't think he did, because he didn't teach us it. Only like normal throws and all that. So I relied on learning a lot more from like my teammates who actually knew how to throw and YouTube. Like, if you really want it, bro, you do everything. You do everything it takes to get it. Like, you sit down and study. You make time to study. Stuff like that. Next thing. Which brings me to this. When I decided to do track, I had to drop a lot of things I used to do, just so my hands could be open to the things that I wanted to introduce them to, which is true. So like playing the game got cut down by a lot, and I completely stopped doing it. Completely stopped doing another thing, which also took a lot of my focus and time. But these things wasn't dropped by force. Like, God gives us a choice to do these things, and I made that choice to trust him and drop those things to move into the things he had for me, even though the things he had for me was new territory for me, and I was skeptical about it. I'm a very, very skeptical person. At this time, I was very heavy on take the leap of faith and follow God wherever he takes you, that's how my junior year was, really. Like, my mind was like this the whole year, and being open to the change and challenges and meeting people, new people. Speaking on meeting new people, I met a lot of cool people junior year. I really did, bro. And they really helped with some of the areas I was developing in. I won't name drop any of them. Though, because they already know who they are. At least one of them. I don't know about the other person at least. But if you know you were there in these moments, then just know I appreciate you. But I will highlight a certain two, because these two definitely were placed to my side by God. Because they were the only people I saw who were in my age group who were really talking about God and living for him. Talking about him and living for him. Just living for him is different than just talking about him. I'm saying, I follow God, you know. You gotta live for him. And yeah, And these two are actually saw him because we had the same classes too. Well, some had the same class. Yeah, I had the same classes with them. I feel like God placed one out of the two during this time so I could see that it was okay for a man to be vulnerable to God. And it doesn't matter the age, what age you are. And then as for the other one, they became a very good friend of mine over time. And it's someone I can always talk to about God and other things. But I haven't talked to him in a minute. I gotta call him. Because, this walk isn't just you alone in this battle against finding your flesh. Wait, what? Because, this walk isn't just you alone in this battle finding your flesh. It isn't. There are others out there you can talk to and relate to who can help remind you about the things you may have forgotten or slipped your mind during this walk with Christ. So it's good to have people to talk to about this stuff. Or if you don't have anyone to talk to, you can just talk to anyone about it. Talk to me about it. It's always good to have wise counsel if it's one or two people, because even if it's just one or two people, because they will help hold you accountable like good friends do, and give you advice that you can take back with you and sit with God and you both and sit with God and reflect with Him to see what is true and what needs to be applied or disregarded. So even if someone gives you advice, still go to God and then run through Him and say, like, this person said this and this, you should really listen to this, but this not so much, because this is like everyone's living life for the first time. Not all gonna be right, so that's just that. This is a lot. I'm not gonna lie. How to go about having a wise counsel? Well, personally, I just always ask God, if it's okay for me to talk to this person, for me to talk to this trusted friend about the topic before I even talk to him at all. Because if I get a no, then I won't. But I never had like a no before, so I just do this as a safety thing, because maybe the person might unintentionally say something that would discourage you or something. But usually I take all the topics to God first, and if I feel the need to speak things out with someone, then I just do that. I don't really talk to people about that no more, really, unless I feel the need to. Now to the end of my junior year, it was very important as well, because after track outdoor season was done, we had a banquet. We did. It was a nice banquet. It was cool. Now this is important because I almost didn't go to this banquet, bro. I really didn't. I felt like I did bad during the season and didn't really deserve to go to it, because like the first I threw was like the whole season was like 32 feet for a shot putter. That's not that good. It's decent, but not that good. Or maybe I was just holding myself at a high standard, high expectation, even though it was my first year. First time trying. It was like, because I didn't do indoor season, I only did outdoor season, so it was like 2 months of me doing this, bro. Like 2-3 months. And that should just go home instead of going to the banquet. But God said otherwise, because like He kept His hand on me the whole day. Like the whole day I was thinking about if I'm going to go or go home. Go to the banquet or go home. And He was easing my thoughts throughout the day. And just to stay and attend the banquet, even though my body wanted to go home so bad. It felt like war in my mind, bro. Like my body was like, like it was crazy. I remember it. Until the time came for the banquet. I talked to someone that day too, so it kind of got my mind off it too. I don't know who I was talking to before the banquet, but shout out to them. I forgot their name, but I know their face. I know he played baseball. The banquet was nice, and people like were rewarded and recognized for their work and performance during the season, for over the season, which was cool, and I had a nice time with the homies. Around doing the end is like one of the coaches who I didn't really know at the time talked about doing like a summer training for track, and I jumped to it, bro. I jumped to that opportunity. I remember like I was like hesitant about doing it because I was shy, but I was like, nah, I gotta do this. So I just got up and did it. Like, you know, my feelings and all that. Because your feelings are deceitful, y'all. Don't listen to your feelings all the time. Which is why I realized is the reason that God wanted me to go to that banquet that day too. Because if I didn't go to that summer training, I would have been very different. My summer would have been very different, and I would have been very different. And likely I would have done like another bunch of nothing that summer, because I don't really do much in the summer. Well, at that time I didn't. And which is why having obedience to God is very important, even if you don't understand the why of what He is asking you to do. Anyways, the summer training was very helpful and important, which I will discuss later in my senior year part, because I really did get better with that summer training. Shout out to Coach D. Coach D. Let's go. Coach. Now we're in the senior year. After having an amazing summer with all the homies, all the new people I met, they were cool. What's the will in life? I haven't talked to y'all in a minute. I don't know if I will, but if I see this, have a good college year. Stay safe. I was in high spirits with what the senior year was going to hold. Still being open-minded as much as I could, because I found out that I wasn't having any classes with some of my class friends, and only just a few of them. But the classes I did have with a few of them, were like ones you couldn't really talk in, because like you got locked in the senior year, bro. Can't talk too much. But nonetheless, I still kept an open mind and trusted God walking into my high school. Still trusted God walking to my last year of high school. To be real, senior year was kind of weird. Like it wasn't really me learning anything new in my classes or anything. It just felt like a whole bunch of get this done, get this and that for college. Yeah, that's what it was. Like, do AP classes to get that GPA up, stuff like that. That's what it felt like. And I only had like a bunch of college stuff in my head mainly. And senior just felt like a means to an end. You know, senioritis and all that. Like, if you know what senioritis is, then you understand what I mean. It just felt like a means to an end. But yeah, that year I did like I did an AP class and a bunch of honor classes. I never do 2 AP classes. Well, I could have did AP Spanish, but I don't know what I did. I should have did 2 AP classes that year, but it's fine. We here now. During this year, I did make a lot. Well, during this year, I did make a couple of new friends and hanged around new people and faces while still on this walk with Christ. What I remember myself doing is just sharing what I could about Christ to my friends. Friends more, definitely am still. Or try to encourage people I talk to sometimes whenever I saw them low or being discouraged. Like telling them God got them, or overall encouraging them, because He do got you, y'all. And I would have appreciated if people telling me that a lot more often, with the context behind that God got you when I was coming up. Because like they say God got you, but what does that mean? I get context, my boy. Overall this year, I also found myself carrying myself in a way that was very different. Like I was being more involved with stuff, taking the initiative, doing things out of my comfort zone, but not being afraid to, because I knew God would be with me, and I had faith in that, and just overall being more willing to the Spirit than the past year. Being more willing to allow being more willing to allow the will of God to take course, because if He wills it, you can't really do anything about it, which is a good thing. I did have moments where I tried putting my hands on things I should have left in God's hands, and it ended up making a slight mess or a big mess. But He always comes through those messes, and I was able to learn from those mistakes. It's all a learning process, bro. Now this year, I also did track and field again, but this time the indoor and outdoor season. Coming back way better than before. This is why we let God cook, because the summer training really helped me a lot, and I was throwing several more feet than I was doing last season. I got better at discus too. I didn't even know how to do discus really the first time, like junior, but this year I did. So, and I was throwing 38 feet now instead of 32, 39. I think I hit 39 over the summer, but I never hit it back senior season because we didn't have a coach again. So whatever I learned over the summer, I just kept up with it during the senior season. And yeah, I say senior season. We just go with that. All of this really opened doors for me too, for college, and making things a bit more easier on my part when it came to which college I wanted to go to. And I thank God for it, because I really did leave all this college stuff in His hands, all of it. It's too much. He's the best orchestrator. God is the best orchestrator. So just remember that. Just remember that, y'all. Everything He does is for a reason, and sometimes the reason is bigger than just you. It could be for somebody else, someone you don't know, your granny, your mom, your dad. You never know. Your sibling, you never know. So yeah, senior year, God really carried me through. But of course, the devil was really lurking. He was really lurking around. Though, and tried to hit me with all types of stuff. One main thing he has tried to hit me with the seeds of doubt and fear. For whatever reason, I had a fake doubt or fear. And for whatever reason, I had a faint doubt or fear in whatever I was doing. Then he would come in, in a little run line, striking at me. And just amplifying that feeling, and I would just start to feel anxious for no reason, and with a string of what if situations just popping in my head. But I'm glad I had grown enough spiritually with Christ, and I had people around me to remind me of God's goodness, to not even worry about what ifs. In fact, the countermeasure to those what ifs is saying, but God, let's say this was your what if. What if I try this new thing and I don't do as well as I thought, and I would end up just wasting my time. You said that's when you go, but that's where you had that but God would redirect my path and make it straight. If this is not for me, He's the creator of time, so think of how much time this will waste is pointless when He's in the mix, because He can make this thing takes years for others work for you in just a few months or less, if that's what He plans for you, which is true. Something like that. So I think that's how I countered that a thought one time. In fact, something I have heard somewhere on the reels, it was 1,000 man steps can't compare to a gospel. Which meant that one move with God is bigger than any move you could ever do. with just you, and definitely bigger than any worldly methods. Another thing I was hit with was fear of not graduating for some reason. It was weird. I'm telling you, that level. I had no reason to worry about this, but somehow that overwhelming feeling with anxiety and fear, and it was crazy. Like, it didn't make no sense at all, bro. So I fasted about it, bro. Fasting helps. I think until I graduated, really, because I wasn't letting the devil in at all. No room. Give that nigga. Sorry, you don't give him no room. Don't give him no room. To operate. Well, honestly, give the devil no room to operate. Honestly, fasting does something. And fasting really honestly does something in the heavenly places that I don't really know, but I know doing it made me feel at ease, allow for God to take more reign of my thoughts, and all that anxiety and fear wasn't really holding me no more, and was countered with scripture if it ever came around. But yeah, when we ended up graduating, and all has been well since. But yeah, we ended up graduating, and all has been well since. This walk with Christ isn't just one and done thing. It's a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle. And it is a relationship with Him, one you could have with someone who is so precious to you. That is. Yeah, okay, that's just the cut. So that's it for my testimony. Share this with anyone you know who's going to high school, in high school, or even going to college. If you like, firstly going to college, because you can apply this to college too, because 4 years for college. And if He did it for you before, He'll do it for you again. It's the same God. You might have to like go harder, but you know, you got it, bro. You got it. So yeah, y'all have a blessed year, semester, whatever you're doing. Yeah, if you wanna talk about God, I'll leave my IG somewhere on the screen, and you can just DM or you can just comment, and I'll answer. Hopefully, because you know I'm going to college too, so I'll do my best to respond. And yeah, have a good day. Peace.
Got fixing from the Lord, so all that evil I let go of these. I'm in my Christ bag, elevate my mind on just the word, I gotta fight back. Jesus paid that price for all my sins without a price tag. Yeah, He really gave up His whole life to get my life back. Devil find another way, you can't walk this road with me. Put in work 100 days, I'm high with God but soberly.